Hi, I'm RC Jim. Well, what happens when your little factory-built Foamy has a problem with a servo? Well, this guy, last time I took it out to fly, testing the ailerons, I move it to the right, and about a second and a half later, it moves up. Moves down instantly. Neutral, instant. Put it up, waits a second and a half. And I thought, not good. So, I've gone ahead and replaced the aileron servos in this plane, and I'm going to show you how to do it. Well, what do you do when your factory-built Foamy develops a fault with a servo? You have to get it out. So, what I'm doing here, first off, I've marked the depth down to the bottom of the area where the thing is. I've pushed down all around the edges, down to there, around everything. Then, I've just got a little tool that can get under there, and I just simply pry it up. I already had gotten that started, which is how I got that damage on the foam there, and which is why I suggest that you do that. But anyway, that just comes right out. The glue that they use isn't all that tough, and it is much neater doing it that way than cutting all the way through the wing and then having to glue the foam bit back in. So we'll just simply run a new servo lead through there, disconnect that one, and replace that, and we'll be all set. So we've fished out the servo, and one thing that's a good thing to do is to check the direction of servos before you go and replacing it. Now here we've got aileron servos where the control linkage is on the outside and on the outside. Because those are both on the outside, it means that when one goes this way, that one's pushing it away, and when we've got it the other way, it's pushing opposite. So two normal servos should work for that. I have seen situations where, say on the flaps, they've got those servos positioned just like that as well, and with that one servo would have to be reversed. But just to make sure that we've got the right servo, we're going to use a servo tester. So I've got my servo tester here, and we plug in the power. Earth is to the top on this side, and on the bottom on the other side. Hold it to get it started. So that's in the servo testing mode. Now I put this one in there. This one, negative, is on the closed side. In each case, we got those little metal tabs showing towards us. And then when I pull down on it, it's going up on the side away from me, okay? So now we get out our replacement unit, positioned in the same way. That should go away from me on the bottom side. We'll go to the middle here first, close to the middle. Okay, a little silver bit showing means the earth is down this way. Okay, and so now we pull it down, and it looks to me like it's going opposite. Okay, so if I go down, it's coming towards me on the bottom. So my servo is opposite. So I've got two choices. Just looking to see if they've got it labeled as being forward or reverse. Sub-micro analog A330 spectrum. Doesn't say anything about reverse, and this one doesn't say anything about reverse. MG90S. But anyway, we will try a reversing cable. Okay, what we've got here is a signal reverser. Anytime you slice open, you want to make sure you don't slice wires, especially on receivers with little antennas. Okay, so in terms of reversing a servo, you can't do it just simply by turning the plug over or whatever, or reversing wires on there. You actually need a reverser because it's sending certain length of pulses, and those pulses need to get altered in their length. And this has got a nice tight fit, boy. Yeah, everything appears to be lined up. Yeah, it does go together. Don't have to worry about that one coming apart. Okay, you can bulge it out a little bit where it went in. And it's not working. Okay, so much for dodgy signal reversers. So I certainly don't want to glue this one in there. If I can't reverse it, I'll have to get a replacement one to make sure that it's the right way around. And working out what's going on, I dug this servo out of my box, and it's definitely a reverse servo. So I put this one in there, plug it in properly, get it up around middle again. Okay, and the proper servo on the bottom, when I go down on the wheel, it goes out that way. And this other one that I've got here, it comes towards me. Well, I pull the thing and the bottom is coming towards me. Okay, so that's a reverse servo, and that's the same thing that this is doing, so I'm talking about that being a reverse servo. Now, I had a thought, rather than delay the repair until the new servo comes, and I'll probably, buy a couple just to have them on hand. But in the meantime, I can use 2 reverse servos, and I've got several of these. So I can use 2 reverse servos and just simply reverse the channel on the radio, and it'll be fine. So the key thing is both servos need to be the same. They need to both be forward or both be reverse, given that they're positioned opposite each other in the plane, such as this. If they're positioned opposite in the plane, then they need to both be the same. Okay, so I've got my 2 Predator servos out here. I've put them both in the servo tester to verify that these are both operating in the same way. Now, before we go and glue the thing in, we want to make sure that we've got the servo arm in the right place, because after it's glued in there, it's going to be pretty difficult to work on that screw. So we're going to go back to the servo tester again, and we get it into the testing mode, and then we hit the mode button here, this one on this side, and first it goes into a mode where it goes back and forth, and the speed of that is changed with the wheel over here. But then one more press and it just leaves it a solid 1500 microsecond signal. So that 1500 is in the middle. So by putting that on there and then plugging the servo in, I can make sure that that one's in the middle, and indeed it is. And I'll just verify that it's working like it should. So yeah, that's working fine. That's the back and forth mode, and there's the middle. So that's very much in the middle, and yeah, it's going to be up when it's on this side, so that's going to be fine for that one. And for this one, let me plug her in. Okay, it looks like it's also fine. We will double check. Goes back and forth. And in the middle, yeah, very close. Okay, so this one's going to be that way. Yep, and that one is going to be this way. This way, yep. Okay, and just take it over here and just look at it, and yes, that side is up. So these servos are both configured correctly for that one to be on this side and for this one to be on the other side. So I'll use the same procedure in getting the other one off, and verify that the screw is in tight. I've had a look at the other linkage, and I note that on the Spectrum servo that it was on the middle hole in here. And so I have a look and compare these arms with that arm, and while they might be able to replace them, it looks like the middle hole is the same as a third one down on this one. And I'll have to verify the size of the holes too, because you don't want to have to be drilling that after it gets in place. So that servo is out. This one is a reasonably good one, so I mean the one that was working fine, so I'm going to hang on to that. The other one, I just simply pulled off the arm and the screw and threw it in the bin. Just don't want to take a chance. It might accidentally get used for something. Okay, so we've got those both out. Now we can focus on getting the new ones in place. So we want to use a foam safe glue, something as well that isn't super strong in case we need to pull it out again. So Gorilla Clear Glue is one possibility. Bob Smith, their clear glue is also fine. Just needs a decent drop on the bottom is all. We verify that our control rod is going to be on that side. We've got it on the third hole down. This is the Predator. So that's the right one to put in there. So I just put that down in place. And we do the same with the other one. So we're going to let those cure. Then we'll run the cables and tape up the slots, and they're all done. So we've got our servos all tucked into place. I used some packaging tape across the big area on each of these. And then I've got some tape that I use on my radio-controlled sailboat to do waterproofing around the control area. And I use that along lengthwise, figuring that that's a little bit heavier and better than the ordinary sticky tape. My servo leads weren't long enough to get all the way from there into there, so I've got an extension on each, and so I just pushed that as far as I could get it into the slot. I've taped that over really well with that waterproof tape, and I've also taped across these openings where that is. Now, you could attempt to glue back on the original thing, but it's the underside of the wing, and nobody's going to notice it when you're up in the air. And on the ground you don't see it. So to me it's not worth mucking around trying to glue that on. Now before I hook on the control horns, I want to get the radio hooked up and make sure our servos are again in the neutral sort of position. And I got looking at this as I was getting ready to do that. And I noted that with this Spectrum receiver, this is an AR631 receiver, they just had this antenna just stuck down into the bottom and sort of halfway curled up. And you may recall, if you've seen my video on receiver testing, that this plane with a Spectrum receiver didn't do as well as a plane that had a Lemon RX receiver in it. And the way this thing was down there has actually been a pretty good position, but it did have a bit of a curl to it. So anyway, what I'm going to do is I'm going to run a tube through the back so I can get it way back there away from the radio gear. It'll be inside in the middle of the fuselage. I'll put the skewer through here, and I'm pretty sure there's nothing else up in there that's going to interfere with anything. And we'll just run that well back to where it's away from other stuff.
Flight mode 1, pressure cut, flaps up. Telemetry connected.
Okay, so I've now got the plane hooked up. I've made sure I've got the trim in the center. And now we're going to do our best to get those servos positioned in the center. Yeah. Which one are these on? I think they were on the top, weren't they? This one. Close. Yeah, well, it looks good just like it is. Okay, flaps are in the middle. Okay, that looks superb. Okay, now, right wing should be going up, and it doesn't, so we need to reverse the channel. And now go right, and the right one goes up. The left one goes down, right one goes up. All set. And nice, noisy Metal Gear servos. Okay, we are ready to fly. Well, thank you for watching this video. I trust that it's been helpful to you, one of those little things that might make life a little bit simpler. If you haven't done so already, you'll want to click on that little circle down there with my picture on it. That will subscribe you. It doesn't cost you anything, and what it means is that all of the 200 and some odd videos that I've done to show you how to do various things are at your hand and easily to find. And you'll find all kinds of things to help you out. And then, of course, while you're at it, have a look at another relevant video on our channel. I'm RC Jim signing off. You have a great day and enjoy your flying.